Okay. So thank you, Sijin, for the introduction, and thank you, Dr. Mendes, for setting the stage. Um, so many valid things spoken about. What are the trends in the industry? What role does cloud play? What role does DevOps play in the industry? So I may prefer to extend that conversation a little more. So I may be taking next 30 to 45 minutes to talk about um, what is that industry would be looking for when it comes to the skills of people who work for them. Um, that's very, very critical and very, very crucial. So um, I thought I'm going to, while I was talking with Sijin earlier today, so I understand that more than 90% of the the enrollments into this event, they belong to the category of students uh, or the faculty members or job seekers. And I would definitely love to address this audience because uh, you play a very crucial role in shaping up the IT industry, and the skills which you possess will definitely decide the future of IT companies. So let's not consider that as, oh, I will learn it on the job. Let me get into a project and learn it. um, that's not going to be easy. If at all, some of you listening to me is thinking that, okay, let me finish my degree first and then somehow scrape through a campus placement and get into a project and then start learning. No, that's the toughest way which you can choose, and that should be the last option which you should have. And I don't think it is easy to get through a campus placement unless you are skilled. The easiest way is to, along with your formal education, or let's say if you're, I see that a good percentage of the enrollees into this webinar are also job seekers. Um, and you should actually talk to job seekers to understand how critical it is to have skills to end up in a satisfying job. I uh, gently think that a satisfying job is has got a lot of other attributes than just high paying or high salary job. It has to be definitely worth it, and it has to be a high salary job, but at the same time you should also end up in a job where you feel that passion towards that technology which you're working on. I really do not want a cloud engineer to be sitting and coding something in Perl or C++. I really do not want that to happen. So, it's your time, of that, your pre-career time, where you can decide on and you can identify on what is going to be your passion. And if you can identify, or if you want to identify what your passion is, you definitely will have to taste it. So don't choose your career by luck or by chance. You decide and you shape your career. That's where I want to go to. And my the title of today's presentation is just simple and plain, where I would like to tell you that you get that confidence by knowing more. And in the context of what we are speaking this evening, this will be more about the technology which you will have to know. And with that knowledge which you gain about technology, you will be feeling confident. And if you're confident, then rest of your career path is very wide open for you to choose, rather than somebody assigning you something which you may end up in a wrong profile. Um, and in the introductory talk, Dr. Mendes talked about this digital transformation and all that stuff. So I will be, what most of the terminologies which you have found on his slide deck, I may expand it on a little bit because I was just listening to the conversation, to the presentation, and then I was thinking, yeah. So I think I may also repeat the same stuff. So please bear with me if I repeat a few things, but that's the reality, right? So. And I'm sure the speaker after me, Mr. Zen John, would be talking a little more technical into it. So, as Sijan has mentioned, I work for Red Hat, and IPSR and Red Hat, we have been partners for a very, very long time. You just saw in one of the slides that IPSR is the second Red Hat training partner in the whole country, in the whole region. And I work with training and certifications business for Red Hat in the South Asian market. Um, I was thinking that I will talk to you tonight, tonight or whatever time zone you belong to, but it's night for me, evening for me. Um, I was thinking I will talk about what is that I have been seeing with my customers in terms of the skill which they are expecting. It's more of you getting prepared to what is happening out there. I normally call it the big bad world of IT, and I would want you to just have a glimpse of, okay, yeah, these are the technologies, these are the buzzwords, and I would like to give it a try or something of that sort. So my agenda will be mostly on why skilling is essential, because I am talking. I may not be talking on behalf of the academy here. I will be switching my sides to the other side. When I say why skilling is essential, I would be talking more from the industry perspective. When I look at industry, I would generally like to express the feeling of my customers. When I say my customers, Red Hat's customers. Red Hat has got its presence in 90% of the Fortune 500 global companies in one form of the software, one form of the solution, or one form of the technology or other. Be it in the form of the operating system they use on their hybrid cloud application deployment, be it their IoT devices, be it a solution which they use on the edge devices, be it on the cloud, be it in automation, etc. Across sectors, telco, automobile. You just heard about BMW Group. We work with Volkswagen, NASA, ISRO. We talk about banks. You talk about Wells Fargo, State Bank of India in India, for example. You talk about airlines like Indigo in India. Um, so I come to you with from the enterprise customers of mine, um, on what is their approach or what is their attitude or what is their view on how critical skills are for them. Now, if they find a skill issue in them, they find a solution to that issue in you, because they want skilled people to get into their job roles and fix that problem for them. That is where you, as the student community, make that exact fit into the puzzle. The puzzle is that the problem with the digital transformation, the problem with deploying cloud ready applications, the problem with deploying artificial intelligence into their platforms and stuff like that. And that hole which they have is to be filled by you, but not just the plain you. It has to be the skilled you. So I would be talking about why skilling is essential for the industry, for my customers. I will be talking from my customers' perspective. And Red Hat's approach to training and certification. So how is not the full or the entire Red Hat? As you're listening to me, or as you already know, Red Hat is a technology company, and it has got open source solutions. I will not get into like what is open source and stuff like that. Everybody today knows what is the significance and power of open source. But Red Hat is an open source company which has got a portfolio of products which can help solve the digital problems of any of our customers, in be it in any field. But in that Red Hat big organization, my business unit is into delivering training and certification. So The second item or the second bullet point on the agenda is specifically me talking about my business organization, which is the Red Hat's training and certification department. How do we consider what is our approach and what is the strategy which we have when we build the training programs and certification programs? Why? Because the Red Hat training organization, the Red Hat training and certification business unit, stands in between the industry, the customers who need skills, and on this side we have audience like you who like to get skilled. So we stand as a bridge in between the job seekers who want to get a satisfying job profile, a fulfilling job profile in the industry where they use Red Hat technologies. So my second bullet point on the agenda is more about what is that we do, the Red Hat training and business unit, training and certification business unit, I'm sorry. What is our approach in delivering training or in offering trainings to people like you so that you're fit for a job on this side of the world? So what's new at Red Hat? Definitely there is no hiding from the fact that people will have to talk about artificial intelligence because, what should I say? Anywhere you go, you have AI coming along with you. You sit on your couch and talk to Alexa, helping to choose a movie on a Friday evening when you're um, relaxing, and maybe to the extent of you writing your assignments using Chat GPT. And I'm sure many of the students may have a smile on your faces. But I'm sure faculty members may not be having the same smile on their faces when I talk about this. But that's the reality, right? So, um, so AI, I will definitely talk about AI. What is that Red Hat doing in terms of AI, and then I will conclude my conversation. So that's what I plan to do tonight. So why skilling is essential, right? So that's what I would like to start off first, talking from the industry perspective. Um, See, the technology usage of a company is never standstill. That is why you talk to your friends, you talk to your cousins, you talk to your seniors who are in the industry. There is one thing which IT professionals keep talking about. By the time I finish learning and implementing a technology, in next 3 months a new technology is out, and then I'll have to keep upskilling, and that is the truth. There is no running away from it. Because it's only because when tools and solutions and technologies rapidly advance, only then you get the bleeding edge technology services in your, let's say, on your cell phone. When I was doing my engineering, I couldn't have even thought about booking a cab using a handheld device. And today it's it's a very natural thing, right? I mean, a school going kid of mine, just say that if she's hungry, she says just Swiggy it. I couldn't even have thought about that, when I was in my school. Unless you cook your own food. So things are changing now. When you are reaping the benefit of it, you are really enjoying the benefit of technology. You also need to understand that there are some IT people who are actually sitting in the back end and building this technology for you, right? When you're looking at when you're looking to get skilled to get into a IT job, don't be the consumers of that technology advantages. This is what I keep telling um, the engineering college kids, or whatever education, the college going kids, I should say. Um, it's good to know that you use the technology, but think from a different perspective. If you are getting skilled on IT skills, don't be a consumer of that technology. Try to be the producer of that technology. You be on the other side. Are you are destined to offer that technical advancements and skills to others. You know what I'm coming to? I would like to tell you that you should not be plain chat GPT users. You should try to understand what is behind chat GPT and try to build a service like that, a generative AI service, and offer it as a web service to the world. That is what you should be thinking about. I do not want you to use ChatGPT. See, you can use ChatGPT. That's fine, but it need not be you, right? You can use, definitely. You can make benefit out of it. You can submit your assignments using it. You can read about any subject in the world about from ChatGPT. But at the same time, I want you to see what's happening. There is a large language model. There is an LLM behind it. There is data. There is data scientist job which is behind it. There is fine tuning of the model behind it. There is training of the model behind it. There is a retraining which is happening, and we are. You just ask ChatGPT anything, and if it can give you a solution, try to imagine the volume of data. It's like billions of terabytes of data which is sitting, and then within fraction of a few seconds it is giving you an answer, and then you refine the answer by asking, okay, you're very good at prompt engineering, right? You have a prompt engineering skill to prompt further and get a finer response. See, the beauty of technology is what that I just explained, right? But I don't want you to just enjoy the beauty of the technology. Try to produce the same beauty as your own product or your own services and give it to rest of the world. That's what I'm coming to. Okay, so I keep deviating from the topic whenever I start talking, and I'm sure Sidin and Dr. Mendes is really aware of the way I talk. But then, yeah, coming back to the slides, because I've got just 30 more minutes. Any company, if you look at see, when I say company, there is a reason why I do not say IT company, because Indigo Airlines, for example, is not an IT company, right? ICICI Bank is not an IT company. BMW is not an IT company, but they are all IT companies. The major investment of all these companies, Airtel, for example, or any telco company for that matter, they do not use the old telephone exchange, manually plugging out the pins and then putting the jack in another socket and then do the exchange. No, that's not how it happens. It's not even electronic circuit. It's pure software based switching. That's what they do, right? So in any field, if you look at, be it airlines, telco, you're very much aware, right? I mean, today you can sit inside your car and then open your sunroof by a voice command. Can you imagine? A car is becoming more of a computer. It's becoming more of a software device rather than, it's just that it's got wheels and internal combustion engine. Okay, now we are phasing out the eyes, or the internal combustion engines, and then we are coming with electric motors and then electric cars, right? And then the dependency on things like the engines and the mechanisms will just get reduced, and substantially it's increasing influence of software. It has got sensors, it has got IoT. It's a classic example of software and IoT there, edge devices across 360 degree of the car. You have cameras and sensors, and there is a program, there is a computer which decides on whether car should stop, whether car should advance, whether car should brake. See, we are talking about autonomous driving. So, okay, coming back again, any industry is an IT industry. Pharmaceuticals, surgery, medical, healthcare, insurance, finance, anything you talk about. So any of these companies will need the modern IT tools, modern IT technologies. It could be automation, it could be cloud, it could be AI, it could be anything, right? So anywhere you have technology, we need skills, we need IT skills, we need technology skills. But what is the challenge? So that is the opportunity that, any industry, any customer of mine, not just Red Hat's customers, any industry in the world, I am reiterating that point, there is an opportunity that they have an opportunity. They have to boost their innovation to provide more meaningful and user friendly services to their customers. But the challenge on the other side is that they cannot keep up with the technology advancements. Why? Because their people are not skilled enough. So that's why Dr. Mendes was citing a very good example, that most of the alumni of IPSR is coming back to them and getting skilled on newer technologies. Somebody who has been a Red Hat certified system administrator is going back and trying to get certified on cloud, trying to get certified on automation. Why? Because the technology advancements, it's not just in the IT world, but especially in the IT world, that it's very rapid, right? So 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 you need to get skilled, right? And the digital business, um, every business is digital. That's what I just mentioned about. And um, it's the time, it's the era. It's not like, it's never a science fiction now. When you're talking about maybe when I was in school days, when I was watching the robots in the movies, they were called science fictions. Now they are not science fictions. um, you know the robotic vacuum cleaners, for example, which I myself use one. I'm very amazed to see that it can notify me, and then it can do a three times mopping if that area is found to be soiled more than rest of the room. Look at that intelligence. So what I'm trying to say is that every business is digital, and every industry and every business will need IT skills. So organizations, or especially Red Hat customers, this is actually from a survey which we have conducted, and all of my customers are prioritizing the digital transformation efforts, and they are going to modernize their technologies and the way they offer services to their customers. So digital transformation is real. Every business is a digital business. If you go back to the cliched example of Uber, Uber is the biggest taxi company in the world, which doesn't own a car of its own, right? Have you ever thought of a car company, a fleet of cars managed by a company where they do not own a car? See, Uber is definitely a software company because it works very intelligently using a good set of applications which is created to be working in the Uber data center with the driver's handset and the customer's cell phone. And they're all connected, and they work on the cloud. And with the help of beautiful satellite mapping and the coordinates of the customer and the cars. See, beautiful and a very brilliant idea, and how effectively this has been transformed into a good business case. And it's not just Uber, right? You go to most of the Asian countries, it is Grab, or India, we have Ola. We have many services like that, right? So it's all digital, and digital transformation, digital business is here. It's the reality of today. And 90% of the organizations whom we have surveyed in 2024, which is the global tech trends, it is a Red Hat report, a survey, they say that they are undergoing digital transformation. So that is setting the ground that every business is digital, and we need skills, digital skills, in each of these customers. um, I am reiterating on the fact which is on the slide now. All these customers say that we have a skill gap. Now, the job openings versus skill gap has to be viewed as two different things. The number of job openings is different. Definitely, we have a lot of job openings today, especially in the IT skills. But the skill gap is also that the people who are already in the job profile is not skilled enough to take the business of a company to that level. Somebody wants to implement automation, and then the entire group is reluctant to get skilled on, let's say, an automation tool called Ansible. They prefer to actually give that work to some other team, or eliminate the team and then get a new team in place. So skill gap is even that. So let's not be directly looking at the number of job openings I find on the job portal. I go to LinkedIn and then search for the jobs. Yes, that is one of the opportunity subset which you have. But skill gap, when my customers talk about skill gap, it's also about the existing people who are not skilled enough to handle the technology advancements. Um, but at the same time, people is the most valuable asset for any IT company. So they definitely try to prioritize skilling their people. So a major share of my business also comes from not just making the people industry ready, like the academy students we go and train. We definitely have a lot of presence in academies, in universities across the country and across Asia. But we also look at bridging that skill gap which is existing in the industry as well. um, I will not take a lot of time in there. I will go to my business units, the Red Hat training and certification business units approach to training and certification. I will keep it very short here. It's 25 minutes now into my presentation. So we believe in the three boxes, the three red rectangles which you find on the top of the slide. It's assess, train, and validate. That's our motto, and that's what we do um, from the Red Hat training and certification business unit to assess the skills of somebody who wants to get skilled. What do you have currently in your skill set? Where do you stand in terms of the technology? And then we train them, and then we validate their skills. Dr. Mendes was just talking about the certification exams, or the global certification process which Red Hat training and certification offers to its customers. Now, um, please understand that there was a mention about something called RHCSA, Red Hat Certified System Administrator. So if any of the let's say BSc students or graduate students who are listening to me on this webinar is thinking about, okay, Red Hat Certified System Administrator exam for me is different from somebody who is in the industry and working on IT field for a long time. No, it's the same certification, and that gives the students a real value when you're getting certified. The 3 hours examination through which an academy student will sit, a BTech student, a fresh BTech student, or a 6-semester BTech student is taking that exam, the same set of skills, with the same difficulty, the same use cases, in the same scenarios, will be asked even to a seasoned professional who want to get certified as a Red Hat certified system administrator. And this is global. You go to the United States, you go to South America, let's say you go to any place in Africa, you go to any place in Asia. You take the exam, it's the same standard, the same difficulty, which means your certification has got the same value, whether you are a fresher or whether you are a seasoned professional. And that makes it difficult, right? I mean, I wouldn't want to use the word difficult, but it's not as easy as you think. I would like to borrow the same words which Dr. Mendes has used. You have the passion, you have the right attitude, I think you can get there. But then, passing the certification or Red Hat as a technology vendor, validating your skill and say that, hey, Mr. ABC is a certified system administrator from Red Hat, and that's a proof, and you have the Credly badge or the certificate, and you go to a job employer, you go to for a job interview, they definitely value it. Why? Because they know that you have not learned it from a printed set of books and then you have done some multiple choice questions. No. For the level of technology which you are certified by Red Hat on, they are sure that you have performed those actions. I will come to that just in a while. But before you get yourself validated from Red Hat by passing a certification, you have to get trained. So we assess the skills, we suggest the training, what is recommended for you based on your career goal and your current skills, and then you get certified or get validated with your skills. So assess, train, and validate. Now, when it comes to assessment, that is where we have people like IPSR as partners on the field. They will help you assess your skills. You can talk to them, get your skills assessed, either as a group from let's say all 6-semester engineering students of a particular Red Hat Academy wants to get into a specific, wants to acquire a specific skill by the time they get into their final year. You can go talk to partners like IPSR, and then they will do an analysis of your skills and tell you that this is the learning path which you may have to take. So that's the assessment part of it. Red Hat training, why is it different? One, I would always like to say that if you want to learn a technology, learn that technology from the house of that technology. For example, if you want to learn about Cisco routing or Cisco switching, right? There is no better place than go into Cisco itself and learn that stuff, rather than some third party building some content on Cisco routers and then you reading from it. Why? Because you're right inside the factory of that technology. The same applies for any technology, right? Um, so nobody knows Red Hat better than us because we produce it, right? So you come to us or take our courses so that you get skilled on the technology which we would like you to get skilled on, so that we would want your service to fix the technology gap which our customers in the industry are facing. So we build courses based on real world use cases. We don't have a separate team which just sits isolated and try to build a course. We definitely have a training and certification group, has got a curriculum team, but they go sit with the support engineers, they go sit with the product engineers, they go sit with the people who are building this technology. And that is how we decide on what content should be taught in a particular course. There are many different courses, just like any other training organization has. There is a level 1 program, level 2 programs, level 3 programs, level 4 programs, even level 5 programs. But in the respective expertise of technology, when we build the courses in the respective levels, we consult with the engineers, we consult with the support services, we consult with our customers. What is your main pain point when it comes to having a trouble, and then your people are not able to fix it, and they're always reaching out to Red Hat support services to fix that problem? We identify that, we include that in a training program, so that next batch of people who are getting trained on the newer version of the course, on the newer revision of the course, is capable enough to fix that problem, which is majorly found in the industry across. So it's real world use cases. I just mentioned about the technologies on which we have courses and the expertise which we have courses on each technology. So the breadth and depth of the courses, the instructor experience. Um, uh, we have instructors, certified instructors at the partner. For example, Mr. Zen, who's going to talk to you with a demonstration and the technology in depth, is a Red Hat certified instructor. So we have instructors who are certified and qualified on their respective technology before they get into the classroom and teach you. uh, Translated training content, well, this applies to the global audience, where if you need to take the course in Spanish, if you want to take the course in, coming to Asia as an example, if you want to take it in Japanese and Korean, we have training content available. But that may not be relevant to you because most of us on the call um, use English as our common language, but we have Hindi translated courses as well, just in case if we have any native Hindi speakers on the call, available in multiple countries. And then coming to validation, right? So this is what I was talking about. So validation of your skills done by Red Hat through the certification. It's performance based. First of all, you will be given 3 hours and, let's say, 2 systems, or depending on the expertise on which you are tested on, you are taking a level 2 exam or a level 3 exam, you may be given 4 systems, 5 systems, 6 systems. And for 3 hours or 4 hours, however long that exam is, those systems belong to you. You have complete access. Read and understand what needs to be done, perform on those systems. At the end of the exam time, hand those systems back to Red Hat. Red Hat will go and evaluate those systems. Again, it's an automated evaluation. And if you have performed what we would have envisioned that you have, maybe a professional would have performed it this way, and if you have done the same thing, the evaluation will say that, oh, good, so this is just like what we have envisioned. This data center is exactly this cloud is exactly configured, or this automation environment is exactly configured as we would have expected it, and you're certified. Now that's how it works. So it's performance based. Now, don't get into too much of thinking that, oh, this is going to be complicated. A level 2 examination like a Red Hat certified system administrator, that's where all of our professionals start their Linux journey, right? First they understand the operating system, and then they get into the details of the operating system, they get into the implementations of the operating system. So the Red Hat Enterprise Linux as an operating system makes the foundation. And RHCSA, Red Hat Certified System Administrator exam, is the exam which is the basic foundational exam which will test your system administration skills. So do not get into thinking that is going to be tough. RHCSA is simple because That's the operating system level or the foundation level examination. But again, when we are when we are testing your skills, being a understanding an operating system from a professional, being an professional understanding the operating system, we would definitely test your skills on how well can you manage an operating system. And if you do that within 3 hours or 3.5 hours, whatever, I don't exactly remember what is the duration of the exam. I think it is either 3 or 3.5, and then you pass the exam. And Red Hat will announce it to rest of the world that this person, this lady or this gentleman, has performed our exercises within the stipulated time, and we are satisfied with his work or with her work. So, hence, this person is a certified professional. That's how it works. And it's live proctored. There will be an examiner who will be watching you when you perform the exam. So, cheating is not possible in this examination. That makes it, again, that increases the authenticity of this examination, of the certification. And it is trusted by the marketplace. When our customers come to us, they tell, rather than listing multiple skills, they tell, do you have certified system administrators available? Please send those job profiles to us so that we can hire. There are many initiatives which happens that way, that our customers come to us, enterprise customers come to us and ask for, do we have enough professionals who are certified on a specific skill? Okay, as I promised, there is no technology talk today without artificial intelligence. I will go a little towards AI and then come back to Red Hat, right? So that's what I'm going to do in the next 2 or 3 slides, and then we will go to the Red Hat products, and then I will set the stage for Zen to go into the demonstration or the technology, the in-depth technology which he has to talk about. Artificial intelligence, everybody, even the kids in school today, talk about AI, right? So, as I said, don't be the people who praise a lot, who talk a lot, who use a lot about AI. Try to see what happens behind the scenes of AI, right? But then, having said that, for us to try that, we need to understand what is the AI landscape, right? What happens in the world of AI? How is AI applications getting integrated into, today I'm sure you guys use payment portals, right? Or you use Amazon for shopping, or Mintra for shopping, right? Um, how do you think it works that, Amazon will automatically say that, hey, you have chosen this product, you are viewing this product, and based on our understanding, 90% of the people feel that the fit of the t-shirt which you are searching right now is found to be appropriate. How does it work? It's a simple use case of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is actually not intelligence. Why? Because it depends on data. It More data, more knowledge the model has, the more intelligent the application gets, or the actual model gets, which is leveraged by the application. That's the simple technique. At the end of the day, it is a software, right? There is no human intelligence there which can actually think, and it has got feelings, but it is more advanced than the regular searching through the cloud, searching through the web and then giving you some results. But this is more intelligent than that, and that is why we call it as an artificial intelligent system. But at the end of the day, it needs to depend on a lot of data to arrive at a conclusion and make it feel like it is thinking just like you are thinking about that situation or that problem, right? That's AI. And then software engineers has got a great deal of work to do in the field of AI. And that is how AI is possible, right? Today, if you talk about, let's say in your local language, let's say you're talking about, you want to ask a generative AI application a few questions in Hindi. Let's say you want to get answers, responses in Hindi about a question which you have regarding an epic, let's say Mahabharata. You may not get the right answers as you expected from your grandmother. today. Why? Because we don't have such a developed model which can give you all possible answers which you think. Or why is that so? There is a possibility that you get the right answer, but why is it not as efficient as you are asking ChatGPT to give me a piece of code in Python which can actually solve a problem of adding these many numbers, these many prime numbers in these many loops, but only taking so much of resources? It can give you a better solution or better response than when you're asking a question in Malayalam, in Tamil, you want to ask a question to a generative AI application to give some excerpts from a Tamil literary work, or a Malayalam, let's say, play. Why? Because the model which is working behind may not have been fed with so much of data about the Tamil literature, or the Mahabharata in Hindi, or in another language. Whereas on the other side, when you're asking Chat GPT, hey, can you develop an HTML code for me, which is like flashing piggy eyes, and then it can bring everything, including the piggy eyes image from the web. So think about it that you have a role to play in enhancing the AI applications today. So coming back to what I've been talking about, you have to be in the back end, right? You try to be the technologists, not the users of a technology. That is the real difference which you have to make. Now, there is another question, which I'm sure you may have in your mind, or if I'm having some faculty members, or some academicians on the call, they get this regular question from the students and from everywhere else. Hey, AI is coming and we are losing our jobs. This is the question which I get very often. AI is here, so what is the purpose in me doing engineering? I I stumbled on a Forbes innovation article. I've just pasted the screenshot and the title of it, but I will come into what does it talk about. So this is a Forbes innovation article, and it has got uh, it's a very long article. It's written by a CEO of an AI platform company, but two critical points in there about the impact of AI on the job market, on the current jobs. So it's got a dual nature, right? So you cannot completely neglect the fact when people say that you're going to lose your job because AI is there. Because the first bullet point is from the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report. This is actually hyperlinked inside the article, the Forbes article, which I was talking about. Read that first point. By 2025, 85 million jobs may be displaced by automation. So it's a fact, right? But look at the second point. An impressive 97 million new jobs are going to get created because AI is there. That makes the real difference. So when you combine these 2 points, can you folks understand, or can you folks imagine the requirement to get skilled here? See, there is something called automation, which is making our jobs easier, but which may also make us lose the jobs, because once it is automated, you don't need a manual intervention to get that job done, maybe every day, every week. No, it's not required. So that may result in reduction of workforce. But if that workforce is getting skilled on, let's say, how to make that automation better, how to make that artificial intelligence component of that software application better, it's all about getting skilled and then finding opportunities, right? So that's what this is all about. And there is definitely a mention about shift in division of labor as well. So this also talks about that second thing which I just mentioned a while now. So this is not about the workforce reduction. It's more about the workforce evolution. How well you adapt to the changing situations in the industry with AI coming in. How can you adapt, and then how can you be a technologist again and stay on the job? So that's exactly the impact of AI. So tomorrow when somebody tells you that AI is going to cut your job or will make the job count less, do not just agree and do not just go by them and do not just trust them, right? You need to understand that it's all about skills, and then there are more jobs getting created, right? But the skills required is different. Emergence of new careers. This is another point. According to LinkedIn Emerging Jobs Report, 75, 74 percentage annual increase. The AI specialists, the data engineers, the model trainers, the data analysts, so many people, right? So many roles are getting generated. And there is another McKinsey report which says that the urgent need to reskill and upskill the people. So upskill is like getting people to the new technologies. Reskill is like if you're already dealing with that, try to do the next level of it, or the next version of it, or a replacement technology to what you have been doing. So that's the impact of AI on the jobs. And now, how is Red Hat products aligned with what is happening in the world or what is happening in the industry? For anything and everything, you need to understand there has to be a platform on which all these things work, right? When I say platform, especially for the computer science or the IT graduates who are listening to me here, the platform is nothing but the operating system. If you take a simple example of your handheld device, right? Without your Android operating system, there is no gaming application on to be used on that handheld device. So be it cloud, be it a be it a data center, be it an IoT device, be it an edge implementation, be it anything, it needs a platform to start with. We are talking about cloud, we are talking about Kubernetes, we are talking about container native application, we are talking about hybrid cloud, we are talking about automation, talking about AI enabled applications. All these things, if it is a software, it has to have a platform. So please do not discount the importance of learning the platform. It all starts from there. You may hear somebody talking about DevOps, right? So DevOps is nothing but the developers and the operations team coming together to make an enhanced product delivery. That product is a software product. Anywhere you talk about software, you need to have a platform, and that is where the significance of operating system is very essential. Now this is I'm trying to put the entire Red Hat portfolio in one single screen. And if you look at implementation of the technology, the bottommost part of the slide, it talks about bare metal, it talks about the fresh hardware bought, put in a data center, and then it is used to um, host some applications which is in production, right? So it could be bare metal, it could be a virtualized environment where you use things like VMware and you deploy the applications on virtual machines. It could be private cloud. Many bank financial institutions where they do not want their computers to sit on a public cloud like Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud Computing. They make cloud within their data center. They have access to it and nobody else has got access to it, but still they set up that cloud so that they get all the flexibility of deploying their application just like what they would have done it on AWS, right? So they built cloud but private. It could be public clouds like AWS or Alibaba Cloud or IBM Cloud or Microsoft Azure. So that could be public cloud. Even the edge devices, right? So whatever edge use case you have, it could be the car sensors, it could be the weather stations, or whatever you are talking about. So any of these implementations, you need to have the operating system, the platform. So the red highlighted rectangular box right above the hardware, that is Red Hat Enterprise Linux from Red Hat. But that applies to any technology. But then since I belong to Red Hat and I want to convey message regarding how is the Red Hat portfolio addressing this technology problems, we have Red Hat Enterprise Linux. On top of that, you have different applications or different technologies. I will not get into a lot of those. For example, we talk about containers a lot these days, especially if you are doing computer science graduation, BSc Computer Science, BCA, BTech or BE, or any like MCA, MTech, or whatever. you need to understand that today's applications are containerized. For the rest of the people who are listening to me who may not be coming from the IT educational background, you still have time to learn about it. And that is where people like IPSR is helping people get skilled on technologies like containers. But today, if you think about, I spoke about that Uber application, right, which works on your handheld. But then you need to understand that the application of Uber, which is installed on your phone, is no good without an internet connection, which means the larger chunk of that application is working in its cloud data center through internet. Think about building an application on the cloud, which has to be a cloud native application. It depends on a technology called containers. You need to understand what containers are, and which is a very essential skill and which is very essential to understand. Please remember, you may talk to your parents who are software engineers, and we belong to a generation where applications were built directly on top of the operating system. Gone are those days. Today, you talk to any application developer, they do not build applications directly to sit on top of operating system. They build applications which can be deployed as a container. Why? Because you can have a large scale of containers deployed, and then you can actually update a large number of containers in very small amount of time. If you want to understand the scale at which containers are used and the speed at which containers can be modified and upgraded, you need to think in this perspective. You use Google for your email services, which is Gmail. An inbox, which you inbox application after you log in, when you use an inbox, you need to understand that that inbox is actually running off of a container. Can you imagine the number of containers which are running inside a Google data center? You can very well imagine, because you can imagine the number of users who are using gmail.com and having their inboxes open across the globe. See, that's the strength of containers. But then containers just can't stand by its own. It needs an orchestration engine, because if a container goes down, there has to be a mechanism to bring it back up, right? So that is where Kubernetes comes into picture. There are a lot of technologies involved, but then I will not complicate things with a lot of things there. But then, this is what you have as a screenshot of what we have to offer. We have OpenShift AI, we have application foundations, we have OpenShift, which is nothing but containers and Kubernetes put together. That is OpenShift. On the top left, you have Ansible automation for automating your deployments, your data center, your configuration, and your application deployments. You have a lot of things, right? I think with that, I will conclude. My conclusion is this: one, any industry is a software industry. Two, there are enough number of jobs. Only thing is that there is not enough skills. So you should not just try to look at the count of the job opportunities. You should also turn back to yourself and think, am I skilled for that job? Try to acquire the skills. Three, AI is not going to destroy your jobs. AI is just looking at a workforce evolution, not a workforce reduction. Four, operating system is where you start with. Then you have a lot of technologies which is built on top of it, which can make you a good technology skill set holding people for the modern day technical or the technology requirements. So all you need is modern day skills for modern day computing. With that, I conclude. And if you have any questions, I'm sorry, I was on dual screen, so I couldn't watch any of the hand raises or the chats on the chat box. So if there are any questions, you may put it on the chat, or if you want to go unmute and talk to me, you can do that. I will wait for a few more minutes. And if not, Sijan, I'm right on my 54th minute of presentation. So I think I'm kind of good here. Let me see if I have any. Sitin, can you help?
Yeah, I will ask them to post any because they haven't posted any questions here as
Okay.
of now.
Okay.
So I will ask them.
Okay.
If you
Good.
have
So, yeah, please.
if you have any questions to Amal Mathai, please post it in the chat and he will take it up.
And I'm just trying to figure out how do I access the chat.
If any of you have any questions, please put it in the chat. Uh, Amal Mathai is waiting for your question.
Yeah, I'm not like desperately waiting, but then I can I can still be on the call for a few more minutes when Zen is presenting, and if you have any questions, you can paste it on the chat. But looks like I
All
saw.
right. Okay.
Was there a question? How do I get the chat? I'm not very familiar with WebEx.
Okay. On the screen, can you see? Mm, there's an icon which says "Show
Yeah,
Chat"
I saw that in the beginning of the call, but then now I don't see those, those buttons. So maybe I
at the
click.
bottom.
Yeah, yeah. I'm still a host, right? So anyway, but then is there something on the chat, Sujin, for me?
I don't think it is. It's just a question on is CSE in engineering doing good or CSE in AI?
Well, CSE is computer science and engineering, I guess. So you know what? I really do not differentiate with a plain computer science engineer versus an AI specialized computer science engineer. Only thing which matters to me is, or matters to the industry, is how skilled you are. So being a computer science engineer, and you having skills on, let's say, operating system and AI technologies will be equally good or better than somebody who is a plain computer science engineer in the AI specialization, because he or she may have just sat for the exams and passed the university exam but may not have skills. So please don't worry about what specialization of computer science graduation you're doing. What matters is the skill which you have. And I really do not differentiate between a computer science engineer versus somebody else. What matters is just the skill. Yeah. But then yes, if you want to understand more about, let's say, data modeling, you want to understand what is large language model, what is RAG, what is training of a model, what is the data scientist job, and all that stuff. If you want to get deep into that, and if you want to get it right in the classroom, I suggest you take a computer science with AI specialization. But that really is not going to help you get into a good job unless you have the skills. Because learning from the books and passing a university exam is different from obtaining skills. And that is where we are looking at programs like this, where vendors like IPSR can help build the skills, no matter what technology you're looking at.
Okay. Amal, there's a question here which says we are using Red Hat, which is secure and robust, but in the coming future, can we have another application like this which will completely uh, based or make on AI?
Okay, yeah. In coming future, can we have another application? So first of all, thanks, Ashutosh, for that question. Please try to understand. I may like to get you corrected a little bit. Red Hat, first of all, is not an application. So Red Hat is just a platform, and that platform is evolving. We started off by having Red Hat Enterprise Linux as a platform which could be installed only on a physical hardware. Now we have RHEL. RHEL is Red Hat Enterprise Linux short form. So we have RHEL, which can be installed on the edge devices on cloud, which is fine tuned. So Red Hat as an operating system is evolving based on the use cases and based on the environment where it has to be installed. And well, we have new versions of RHEL, new types of RHEL. For example, for running containers, we have a RHEL which is very specialized only to run VMs, only to run containers. So that is evolving. Um, but then, yeah, in the future, do you have any other application? That is where you stand corrected. Red Hat Enterprise Linux is not an application. But yes, we are coming up with, for example, Ansible when there is an automation need. OpenShift AI, which is the MLOps platform. Um, but then completely based on AI. See, as I mentioned, AI itself is an application. But I can give you a good example. I may not have time to give a lot of explanation here, but you can try to understand what is the Lightspeed project from Red Hat. Lightspeed, Lightspeed. That shows a very clear indication how Red Hat is using artificial intelligence in its own products or in its own services. So there is a project called Ansible Lightspeed, and it's a Gen AI application. You can create your Ansible automation code. See, you have seen in my profile that I'm the world's first certified Ansible. I'm a very old time Ansible guy, and we used to write everything, right? Today, if you ask Ansible Lightspeed, give me an Ansible code for deploying these many instances on my Amazon Web Services cloud, it can just generate that automation code and give it to you. So yes, the answer is that yes, we have a lot of AI built into our own applications itself, our own services itself. Okay, Yadunad is asking, can I get a job without getting high paid certificate? Okay, I think your question meant without without attaining a certification, which there is a mention of high paid. Not all certifications are as expensive as you think, but then yes, certifications can be expensive, and that is where the scholarship announcements like what Dr. Mendes mentioned is coming to help. But then yeah, to answer your question, it is not mandatory that you need to have a certification to get a job. I come back to that statement again. All you need is skills. But for a fresh graduate, how do you prove that you have skills? That is the question. If you have 1,000 job applications for an open position, um, if the resume says that you are 7 years experienced in that domain, definitely HR's attention will be caught on that resume. But then if there are 900 people who are fresh graduates, there is no way you can differentiate yourselves so that you're fit for that particular position unless you have a valid certification. That is the advantage of certification. But otherwise, believe me, you do not need certification. You just need skills. But you need to get there, right? That's what it is. Madhu is asking, good evening. It was a great presentation. Thank you. I just have a doubt about choosing specialization for my master's. Um, I, I can't help you, Madhu, right on this call because I'm already exceeding my time of 1 hour 3 minutes now. But you can definitely talk to people at IPSR. Get some clarity on some guidance in terms of skills. But masters is absolutely your choice. Do some industry research and find out. First of all, identify what interest do you have in which field of technology. It could be edge, it could be cloud, it could be pure data science, it could be ML, or it could be something else, right? So it's for you to identify. But then I would like to wish you the best for your masters. Good to know that you are looking for your masters. But then, try to seek help from people on the panel or from IPSR. But my recommendation would be that, go by your intent to get specialized on what, because we are doing masters. I'm sure you would have some fields of interest, like let's say cybersecurity or something of that sort. So go by it. Lindsay Teresa is asking, considering the recent advancements in quantum computing, how do you think organizations can incorporate AI into their workflow? First of all, Ms. Teresa, I am not a quantum computing expert, but I have exposed myself to a lot of quantum computing because IBM, which is my parent company, is a lot, and I would say is a pioneer in quantum computing. Um, 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 but then I did not get that part of the question. Incorporate AI into their workflow. Now, AI into their workflow is, if it's about the software development workflow, AI is already there in the development of the software or the software development lifecycle. But if you're talking about incorporating AI into quantum computing, I may not have an answer to you because I'm not an expert in that field. But then, yes, I'm a great fan of quantum computing, by the way. Rasia Fatima is asking, as an economics student, how I could work with AI. I think this is only no, absolutely not. It is not for science students, Miss Fatima. It's for anyone, right? I would say, if you want to get into the details, the deep into AI, it'll be easy for a mathematics student rather than a computer science student, right? You know where I'm coming from? Because it's hardcore, um, the data scientist thing which is happening right inside it. As I said, I do not expect. I will try to give a different example here and then try to relate it to the field of AI. If somebody says that I'm an expert in automobile, it doesn't mean that this person knows about the mechanical part of it, the internal combustion engine part of it, the electronics part of it, the sensors part of it, the radars part of it, and the electronics and whatever is involved, right? But still, you have somebody who says that, okay, I'm working with an automobile manufacturer. I have got a friend who works for JLR, Jaguar Land Rover, and he claims himself to be an automobile guy. We have done our studies together. But you know what his specialization is? He just knows about a head unit in Jaguar. That's all he knows about it. Head unit is that, that 18-inch, 15-inch, or 20-inch. These days, we have 30-inch screens, which comes as on the instrument panel of the car, right? Which is highly sophisticated. So I don't blame him if he says that, hey, I'm an automobile guy. He has got no goddamn clue about what is a spark plug, what is a valve, and how many cylinders this engine has, and how does a Jaguar work. So you know what I'm coming to. People generally say, so try to replace AI, this automobile, with AI. AI has got a lot of different fields. You need not be, when I said that, a mathematician can definitely deal with AI better than a computer science engineer, but what part of AI? AI is about different things, integrating an AI into an application, having a DevOps kind of development model for an AI project, the ML operations platform, the machine learning ops, which is dependent on a data model, which is again the data part of it, the storage part of it, because I spoke about millions of terabytes of data, right? So there definitely needs to be a storage expert. There definitely needs to be people who would be writing a model, developing a model, somebody who works with OpenAI as a company, who is working on GPT version 4 of the model. So AI is a big world, and there are many different specializations and many different roles, many different profiles, which makes this a reality, right? So don't try to be under the impression that um, I am an economics guy, so sorry, an economics lady, and then I may not be able to get into AI. You should definitely give it a try. Then you will understand, wow, I realize that there is a potential for my skills also into the world of AI. So, ladies and gentlemen, whoever has been listening to me, I don't know how many people are still on the call, but then whoever has been listening to me, don't think that AI is not for you. AI is definitely for you, right? Again, I go back to my statement, don't be a user of AI. Try to be a service provider of AI. So